Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Yesterday you all remember we were sharing some thoughts by the professor about the impersonal personal attitude of Papa. This is something on which we have to do a lot of we have to do a lot of churning. Otherwise it is only an expression. And that churning will definitely help us in our inward journey. While he was seeing the divine self as pervading every particle of the universe, he experienced simultaneously that same infinite as a personal God, his beloved Ram, speaking to him and guiding him in an utterly personal way. Casual hearing will not help us at all. Papa himself elaborates Papa's own words. Having realized God as the immanent and transcendent spirit, who has become manifest as all beings, creatures and things, having realized God as the immanent and transcendent spirit, who has become manifest as all beings, he can still be to you an intimate, ever-present companion, friend, protector. This personal relationship with him sweetens your life in a marvelous manner. As we keep on chanting, Suppose all these dimensions are there in some part of the mind, that please enable me to develop a channel of communication with you. You are making me to chant your name, but at the surface level it goes. Still I have not been able to connect myself with you. So that is why I am not enjoying the sweetness after the chanting is over. Please enable me. And we draw inspiration from Papa's life, whether it is possible or not. He emphatically says, the personal relationship with him sweetens your life in a marvelous manner. His presence enthuses, guides you at all times. He makes you the vehicle of his infinite love and mercy. He uses you as his instrument for spreading peace and goodwill on the earth. You are one with him, and at the same time you are his free and cheerful servant and pure and radiant child. We can place before him, mentally. These are the words which sweetens me, which gives me joy, but I am yet to experience that. You have made me to hear our Guru's words. You have made me to absorb something of it. But unless and until you make it an experience in me, how will I know? You are all pervading. At the same time, you are also in me, So the all pervading nature cannot be localized. But in me, you are there in the form of life force, in the form of intelligence, in the form of awareness, in the form of creativity, in the form of peace, in the form of equanimity. Intellectually, you have made me understood all these things. Why don't you make me aware of your presence? You have given me the sense of individuality. Bereft of you, I don't remain, I don't exist. Always to think about your abstract nature, I cannot connect myself with you. Because I have got a body, mind, intellect. It is not abstract, it is specific. So to feel the presence, I must connect myself to a specific. So you are there. That is why our master said impersonal person. Now these words are being uttered because you have lent, the needed power. Otherwise these words will not come. So I am there, you are there, dualism. But at the same time, without you I am not there. So you are in me, I am in you, you and I are one. That is Advaita. Intellectually, it is rationally acceptable. That is why the professor said, a most extraordinary play of non-dualism and devotion, Advaita and Bhakti. In Bhakti, there is a Bhakta and Bhagavan. So dualism is there. In Advaita, I am everything. When we attend any Vedanta course, all the 4 Mahavakyas will be taught to us. Ayam Atma Brahma, Pratnyanam Brahma, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. So finally is Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. All nice theories. I still continue to remain there, the sense of individuality continue to remain there. That truth I should know. So I must develop a relationship with you so that it stays with me. Whether I am chanting or not, it will stay with me, Whether I am thinking or not, whether I am doing it or not, whether I am talking or not, it is always with me. But at the same time, it is expressed through the equipment called the me. Just like electricity is expressed through different gadgets, different upadhis like bulb or fan or amplifier. It is not something which we can be seen, But its power is experienced through when it is expressed through the different gadgets. Similarly, you are there, you are the mysterious power, which is not an object, so it cannot be seen. But at the same time, through your varied creations, including me, I can try to understand that you are the essence, you are the base, you are the support, you are the Aadhar, you are the substratum, you are the motivating force. So there, me and that force is there. So that force is approached by the sense of individuality. So that is called the personal. At the same time, it is not bound by any name and form. So it is impersonal. That's why I said we have to keep on thinking about it. Why we should bother about all these things? Because at the time of chanting, Papa clearly mentions that Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram stands for both the personal and impersonal aspect of God. While Om stands for the impersonal, Sri stands for the, Om stands for the impersonal, Sri stands for the personal, and Ram stands for both and beyond both. Initially I may join the chanting. But after years of chanting, decades of chanting, when I find that my major hurdles are still there, I start going deeper and deeper into it. How do I get over this? I would have been able to get over many things, but the most crucial thing, the me and mine, that is still there intact in me. I might be getting refined. Probably the me and mine, the dominance of me and mine may be getting reduced, but it has not come to zero. And you have told that unless and until it becomes zero, you will not realize your presence. So where do I draw the line? Please guide me. That is why, Papa keeps on reminding us, this is an important subject. Kindly ponder over it deeply, deeply. Impersonal person. Let us see, Papa, what he says more. You may reach the height of his impersonal nature. You may dissolve your little self in his all-pervading infinite consciousness. You may behold him everywhere. But communion with him as a personal truth and ideal is a rare and exalted experience. Now you can converse with him, play with him, be ever joyful in his company. In Papa's life, this is beautifully brought out. We will read out what Swami Shuddhanji has brought it out beautifully with my master. Ram's will be done, said beloved Papa suddenly and smiled broadly. So question was, apropos what? Suddenly this word comes, Ram's will be done. Out of context, you can say. Then Papa says, apropos nothing and everything. Should there be a specific reason for Ram's will? Papa countered. There must be a reason why Papa should say Ram's will be done. Papa, I persisted. I had noticed Papa introducing frequently in casual conversations the line that was lesson number 1 in Papa's primer, Ram's will be done. What a beautiful way of expressing. Papa's primer. Lesson number 1 in Papa's primer is Ram's will be done. God's will be done. And I had always meant to ask Papa what connection he made this statement. I felt that the opportunity had finally arrived, for I was then alone with Papa and took any liberty with the master. Papa answers, it just so happened there is not any particular reason. Ram says day and night, sitting, walking, talking, sleeping, his will be done in all matters. Is not that an old story, Papa? I asked. Yes, that is what Ramdas told Ram. Now you see the same. There is a duality, there is a non-dual aspect. Ramdas told the fellow, capital F, is there anyone who denies that your will be done? It is your will alone, O Lord, and none else. But Ram is not satisfied. He wants Ramdas to remind you all, in season, out of season. In fact, all the 365 days of the year, of what Ram himself considers the basic fact of all creation, his will be done. We remember one incident in Papa's itinerant life. He was in Rawalpindi. He was with two friends. What is his name? Durga. Anyway, we don't exactly remember. So, he was planning to leave. And then the person with whom he was staying, he said, don't go. I think I will read his own words. This was in Rawalpindi. From Shambhunath's house, Ramdas, at the request of Durga Das, shifted to his spacious residence and stayed with him again for about a week. Now Ramdas had many a talk with the Durga Das. Ramdas found him learned. Okay. One afternoon, in the society of his son-in-law, Bhavani Shankar Rao, who was the Sri Krishnaji? No idea. Who had newly come from Bombay with his daughter, Ramdas had a drive in his motor car to Verinag, a place about 50 miles from Srinagar. Verinag, like other beauty spots in Kashmir, offered a very charming view. Anyway, Bhavani Shankar Rao was to start for Bombay as he had come to Kashmir during his summer vacation, which was coming to a close. Ramdas proposed to accompany him. But Durga Das, out of great love, intervened. He appealed to Ramdas to remain with him for some time more. His two children, Uddhav and Kabir, also joined him, but Ramdas was determined. He was to leave on the morrow. Seats for two were arranged in a motor bus running to Rawalpindi. In the morning, on the day fixed for departure, a message came by telephone to say that the seats booked were otherwise filled up and there were no spare seats in other buses also for the day. So we take it that on those days, to come to Bombay, one has to travel from Kashmir to Rawalpindi and from there get into the train to Bombay, Karachi, Bombay. Now, Bhavani Shankar, who had to be present in Bombay on a particular day to attend the examination, was greatly upset by the news. For he could reach Bombay in time only if he started on the day fixed. Now, Durgadas coming to Ramdas said, Ramdas, it is Ram's will that you should not go. You must stay with me for at least a month more. So he has upset your plan of departure. We shall find a seat somehow for Bhavani Shankar. But for you, there will be no seat available, which means that you are to stay behind. The immediate reaction of Papa, Ram's will be done. Ramdas simply replied. In 5 minutes, another telephone message came to the effect that 2 seats were arranged in another bus. I must confess that your Ram is wonderful, Durgadas said. Then Papa said, when he wills, nothing can stand on his way of fulfilling his object. His will is supreme. Now, when we read this, the greatest lesson, the implied message to all of us is, when he was told, his mind was seriously committed to taking the trip next day by the bus. So the news comes that there is no seat. He accepts Ram's will be done. In 5 minutes, scenario changes. Then also he said, Ram's will be done. We will accept Ram's will be done only when it suits us, Both we will not accept. Here we find cheerfully accepting the first one and also accepting the second one. No other word he added. First he said, Ram's will be done. Again also he said, his will is irrevocable. So the Ram's will be done, that's why we remember this. Papa, I said after some silence, waiting till Papa had finished the work in his hand, going through the proofs of the vision. It was mid-afternoon and a few minutes were left for Papa to take his afternoon walk. Is not Ram a persistent fellow, Papa? Of course he is, Papa agreed heartily. Once he woke up Ramdas out of his sleep, just to tell him in whisper, look here, my will is supreme. See the intuitive messages he was getting. At no time it is disconnected. All right, Ramdas told him. Has Ramdas ever denied the fact? Now let Ramdas go back to sleep. Ram explained, I just thought I had better make myself once again clear on this important point. What did Papa do then? I asked, all set to burst out laughing. The vision of Papa teaching Ram his manners was always just too good for words. Ramdas took the biggest piece of sugar candy, stuffed it into Ram's mouth before he could realize what was coming. As Ram was busy chewing the chunk of sugar candy into small bits and swallowing the lot, Ramdas went back to sleep. Of one thing Ramdas was sure. Ram loved his sugar candy and would not open his mouth lest he should lose any bit. Papa joined me in roaring laughter at the picture he had conjured of Ram as a sugar candy addict.
Did he put that sugar candy in his own mouth?
Duality and non-duality. That's the reason we have to do a lot of thinking. Then only we can go nearer to the experience.
How could he go to sleep when he himself had sugar candy in his mouth? Papa said he
part of the mind automatically, even during sleep, there are some moments which we may, like this, we may not be aware. There are many moments are going on even during our sleep which we are not aware. So like that, he must be, or he must have told it in a lighter vein. What he wants us to convey is this, at no time he is disconnected with him. And in order that it gets concretized in him as well as in the devotees, he makes Papa to say these words often. We have heard now, no? How many times you have heard this word? His will alone be done. Any change in our life? No. We always feel our will be done, no? We have to do a lot of thinking about it.
We are not connected with him, sir. That's why
We are not connected.
We don't have that
We have not
experience.
connected, that is right.
We don't have that experience of connection.
So now by through this, he says he wants all of us to direct our attention to get connected with him. Then only we will be able to understand these words. It is so beautiful, it is so simple, but yet very, very, very difficult. Why difficult? Because the me and mine is very predominant. It refuses to accept subservience to that power. That is the simple truth. It refuses to accept subservience to that power. Now the words are coming because he is there in the form of life force. If the life is not there, the hand will not move, sound will not come, thought will not be there. At every moment of our life he is there, whether we know him or not, whether we recognize him or not, whether we adore him or not, whether we deny him or not. The truth is, he is with us. In the form of life, in the form of awareness, in the form of intelligence, in the form of creativity, in the form of anything I can add. So here, Papa wants us to, we are chanting. That is why he always recommends while chanting, add this. We are chanting the name of one who is within us, who is making me to chant. On another occasion, when Papa similarly uttered Ram's will be done, and disarmingly explained that Ram made him say it, I asked Papa in turn, will Ram never stop these interruptions? Never. Said Papa firmly. He is Ramdas's constant companion.
He admits that.
But what Ram says is a fact. His will alone matters. So it is high time, we who claim to be devotees and trying to understand Papa's teachings and follow him, we must bring this very important aspect. My chanting is for, I have been told, for remembrance. This remembrance should enable me to develop that connection with him. Intellectually, we are 100% convinced. What is needed is the experiential aspect. What all we should do, we must pray. We have heard so many outer directions given to us from the outer level. We have read so many of Papa's articles, so many Mahatmas, everything. Still, where are we? So that means that hearing is going on. We have not been able to assimilate, absorb, contemplate, recollect, make it a part of our own. This is something very, very serious, very serious. We will go through some of these again in words. Relationship with God, a stepping stone, Papa said. Ramdas shall tell you about the path that leads. Swami Vivekananda says, When you see man as God, how do we understand that? We go to the source of everything. Source of all sources. And in everywhere there is Chaitanya, there is what do you call that? Activities. Different characteristics, different activities, different characteristics. Same artist, same canvas, same painting brush, same paint, but he brings out different caricatures, evoking different types of responses from us. So it is possible. So he is a great artist. That is the source of all sources. So when he says, when you see man as God, everything, even the tiger, will be welcome. Whatever comes to you is but the Lord, the Eternal, the Blessed One, appearing to us in various forms as our father, mother, friend, child. They are our own soul playing with us. As our human relationships can thus be made divine, so our relationship with God may take any of these forms, and we look upon Him as our father, mother, friend, or beloved. Calling God mother is a higher ideal than calling Him father, and to call Him friend is still higher, but the highest is regard to Him as the beloved. The highest point of all is to see no difference between lover and beloved. You may remember perhaps the old Persian story of how a lover came, knocked at the door of the beloved, and asked, "Who are you?" "It is I." There was no response. A second time he came, exclaimed, "I am here," but the door was not open. Third time he came, the voice asked from inside, "Who is there?" "I am thyself, my beloved." Door opened. So is the relation between God and ourselves. He is in everything, He is everything. Every man and woman is the palpable, blissful, living God. Who says God is unknown? Who says He is to be searched after? We have found God eternally. We have been living in Him eternally. Everywhere He is eternally known, eternally worshipped. We will take it up on Monday also, because there are so many articles. And prayer, Papa gives, prayer is a means. Prayer keeps you in contact with God. It opens the relationship between you and God. You yourself as a child, God as mother. Whenever you pray to the Supreme Being. You take it for granted that He exists within you and that He is your great protector. When you send a telephone message from here to your friend far away, you feel His nearness and close contact. So also is prayer. You contact God, and as your contact becomes more and more intense, His power, joy, light, bliss flow into you. So the moment we contact, that form figure comes before us, Simple fact. So the nearness is felt. Geographically, they are away. Nowadays, modern technology, Through modern technology, God provides us even a person sitting in far off corner of the world. We can have him in a minute's time here. Some of you are far off. Somebody is in Ireland, somebody is in England, London. So like that, if this is possible here and now, the moment we think about that person, his form wells up in our heart. So geographically, we are miles and miles and away, but mentally very near. So similarly, the all-pervading reality can be brought within the ambits of our mind by remembering Him through prayer. When you started on your journey towards God, the question was asked, did you feel that you did not turn back? You would not turn back? Papa. Ramdas had handed himself over to God to such an extent that He took him by the hand and there was no turning back. Because His hold on me is there, no? If he had thought that he was treading the path by his own strength, perhaps he would have returned. Ramdas was confident that there would be no fall as God was guiding him. In this connection, Ramdas will tell you the illustration generally given in India. They say we must be like the kitten, not like the young one of monkey. The baby monkey hangs on to the mother, and when the mother jumps from branch to branch, sometimes it loses its grips, falls down and dies. But the kitten lies down in one corner, cries for the mother cat comes, takes it away. There is no chance of the kitten falling down, so let us be like the kitten, and we shall never have a fall. If we hold on to God by our own strength, our hold may loosen and we might fall. This is the important word. If we hold on to God by our own strength, if I think that by my sadhana I am trying to realize, I will never. If we hold on to God by our own strength, our hold may loosen and we might fall. To be like the kitten is therefore the best way to approach God. Say to God, "O God, lead me, guide me, I am entirely yours." This is a very, very, very important point in the life of a devotee or a spiritual aspirant. And we have to fine-tune our sadhana in line with this. We may be doing it outwardly. We may be deriving some joy out of it. But that is not the end. We are very clear now. We must feel His constant companionship at all times. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. At all times and in all places. Mam anusmare vidyacha. Remember me, not remember me. Constantly remember. Anusmarana, not smarana. Constantly remember me and then fight the battle of life. This is what Lord Krishna says to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. Previously when we were reading, we were general statement. But now we know how to constantly remember Him. To constantly feel that He is with me, in me. He is behind every thought, every word, every deed. So we now pray to Him. Our mind is not matured enough to understand this, so make it mature. I should not be satisfied with the sweetness when I chant Ram Nam. I must be satisfied only with your companionship. In fact, the sweetness which normally we term as sweetness is only a part of that companionship. But that goes immediately after the chanting is over, immediately after the bhajan is over, immediately after the satsang is over, immediately after the sadhyaya is over. No. That I have had enough. You must give me the feeling that you are with me throughout. This urgency, the deep rooted, intensified, focused prayer. He is facilitating all these words to come now. So we are praying to him. Please make it a reality. So that I will be ever in your company. At no time will I be away from you. Please enable me to do that. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Oh, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.